Now we went out to Palmyra, and the Syrian army had had an enormous victory over ISIS in Palmyra. Amen. It was such a heroic, I've got to tell you, I wish you could see the perspective. I'm up there with the generals who led the attack, and you can't tell from the perspective, but we're on a ridge line that goes down at a 45-degree angle, and it's all loose rubble. Just tremendous, the idea of attacking up that. And they showed me how they attacked from 3 different directions. And then they showed me something that stuck out in my mind. The deputy commanding general, at the heights, the highest point is the Palmyra Castle, which is beautiful, and they were not able to destroy it. So it will be restored, and it'll have its former glory, which is wonderful. It's a gift to humanity. But the deputy commanding general, a Syrian general, died at the foot of the fortress trying to capture it. And I wonder today, in today's military, the new modern liberalized military in the United States, how many general officers would lead the attack up a 45-degree angle and personally go to the foot of that fortress and look up and face the guns? Very few. And we had a little fun. We went out, the Syrian Air Force was able to occupy a very large airfield, and we were driving along there, and we saw a couple of little F-5 aircraft that not too much, and I said, let's drive over to the revetment. I said, I want to see what's in there. So we drove over, and this is where they keep the real stuff. And this is a huge attack jet. It's a MiG aircraft, and that's the pilot up there, and very, very fine air crew and pilots. And I mean, you know, I count my missions. I had 269. These guys, they don't even bother to count. They don't even bother to count. They just fly and fly and fly. And then we went out, we examined the ruins of Palmyra. And when Jesus Christ walked the earth, there already were 2,000 years of civilizations built one upon the other, ancient temples. And so in all, you had 4,000 years of history. It was a priceless gem. It was a UNESCO World Heritage Site. People came from all over the world to see it. When ISIS came in, they vandalized it. And they blew down things, and they destroyed things, and they shipped antiquities off. Guess where they shipped them? Turkey. Our good ally, Turkey, took all of these antiquities that should be viewed by people 10,000 years from now, and they're pawning them off on the open market. I did a press conference there. We had press following us all over the place, and essentially I was saying, and I think this captures it, where was the American coalition? We had this enormous force of aircraft. I don't know how many countries, what are there, 20, 30, 40, I don't know how many we count in the coalition. When ISIS attacked Palmyra, and we knew this was a heritage site, and we knew how precious it was, somehow they have vision problems in the CIA and the State Department, and they could not see hundreds and hundreds of tanks and thousands of trucks and hundreds of artillery pieces and armored cars and things in the wide open desert. Somehow they just missed it. Well, they didn't miss it. They saw ISIS as a tool that they could use, and they knew that Palmyra was one step closer to Damascus, And they were quite happy to have ISIS be the force that entered and conquered Damascus and slaughtered everybody. And so it just outraged me, and I didn't bring other slides, but I could show you the terrible destruction that took place. It was a great tragedy, not just for our generation, but for 100 generations to come, that the United States stood by and allowed this to happen deliberately.